A good morning to you, boys and girls. Welcome to our virtual classroom. We meet today in our mathematics lesson. And our topic today is shapes. Shapes are put into two categories or groups. These groups are plane shapes and solid shapes. In today's lesson, we're going to look specifically at plane shapes. And which are these shapes that are called plane shapes? Plane shapes are also called two-dimensional shapes. And what does that mean when we say they are two-dimensional? It's either they have a base and a height, or a length and a width. These are the two-dimensional shapes. And another name for plane shapes is called polygons. So when we're talking about polygons, we are also talking about shapes. And these shapes are given names according to the number of sides that they have. We are going to start by looking at shapes that are called triangles. The prefix tri, T-R-I, means three. When we have three schools playing, let's say, rugby matches together, we say that tournament is a triangular tournament. When we have a bicycle that has three wheels, we call it a tricycle. So the word tri means three. So when talking about triangles, we're talking about all those shapes that are three-sided. And we have four types of triangles. The first one is called an equilateral triangle. And what are the characteristics of an equilateral triangle? An equilateral triangle has three equal sides. All the three sides are equal, which means if one side is, let's say, 7 centimeters, it means the other sides will measure 7 centimeters, 7 centimeters. But in mathematics, we have some symbols that we use to indicate that sides of a shape are equal. And what are these symbols? We use small slashes on the side. So if we have an equilateral triangle, how many slashes will you see on the equilateral triangle? You will see 3 slashes. This will mean these sides are equal. The other characteristic of a triangle, an equilateral triangle, is that the 3 interior angles. We are going to have a lesson later in the term on angles, but the 3 interior angles of an equilateral triangle are all equal. They are equal. The interior angles of all triangles should give a total of 180 degrees. So if it is an equilateral triangle, what is the size of one angle? If the total is 180 degrees and there are 3 equal angles, we divide 180 by 3 to get 60 degrees. So each angle of an equilateral triangle measures 60 degrees. We move on to another major characteristic of an equilateral triangle is that it has 3 lines of symmetry. And some will ask, what is a line of symmetry? A line of symmetry is a line that can divide a shape into two equal parts. Like if you look at your face, if you draw a line on the forehead, between the nose, between the mouth, and down between the chin, that line would divide the face into two similar and equal parts, and that line is called a line of symmetry. So back to our equilateral triangle. An equilateral triangle has three lines of symmetry. We move on to the second type of triangle, which is called an isosceles triangle. And what are the characteristics of an isosceles triangle? Two of the sides are equal. So if we're going to use our slashes, we put slashes on the equal sides. And how many slashes do we put? 2. And of the 3 interior angles, 2 of those angles are also equal. What about the lines of symmetry? How many lines of symmetry do you think an isosceles triangle has? An isosceles triangle has only one line of symmetry. The third type of triangle is called a scalene triangle. And how do we identify a scalene triangle? A scalene triangle, the 3 sides are not equal. I mean, they are different. One might be 5 centimeters, the other one 4, the other one 7 centimeters. These are different measurements. So this will be a scalene triangle. What about the angles? The 3 angles are also different in the lines of symmetry. A scalene triangle does not have a line of symmetry. So this is about the 3 major triangles. But we have a 4th special type of triangle, and what is its name? We call it a right-angled triangle. And why do we say this is a special type of triangle? This triangle is named from one of the angles that is a right angle. And some will be asking, what is a right angle? A right angle is any angle that measures 90 degrees. And in mathematics, we have got a symbol that we use to mark an angle that is a right angle. We mark that using a square. So if you look at a triangle and you see one of the angles, one of the corners has a mark of a square, it means it is a right angle, and the triangle will become a right-angled triangle. So these are the triangles that we have in mathematics. Later in the term, we're going to be calculating the area of a triangle, and you may want to know the formula that we use when we are calculating the area of a triangle. When we calculate the area of a triangle, we say the base multiplied by the perpendicular height divided by 2. But like I said, we have a lesson on calculating area of a triangle. Today, basically, we want to name the triangles and their characteristics or properties. We'll take a short break. We'll be back in a few minutes.